Hey guys, we are at BeerX 2026 at the moment. I'm here with Robbie from Yakima Chief. We're going to be chatting about a couple of questions that might pop up the next time you are making a beer or just wondering about hops. So, Robbie, thank you very much.
No worries.
I just want to know, do hop beers matter?
Great question. It's one that comes up a lot from both commercial brewers and home brewers. Personally, I would say yes. I'd also say no.
Okay.
For many reasons. I mean, think of hops. They're a plant, right? They're a seasonal product. So almost like wine grapes, right? You get vintage years. You get maybe not so vintage years. So yeah, a lot of people sort of subscribe to the freshest is best argument, but there could be a particularly strong year that was 2 years ago, where maybe the most recent crop wasn't quite as impactful. I would say, providing the hops are stored correctly, they can last for many, many years, and it's really imperative that we stick to these really quite strict storage conditions. One of those is keeping the hops cold. Biggest enemies of hops are oxygen and temperature in particular. So as soon as oxygen gets into hops, it will very quickly start to degrade those really delicate, potent aromatic compounds, and then you've got temperature, so warm temperature will increase that degradation. So providing you keep your hops cold, as free as oxygen as you can, you're giving them every possible chance. So,
and that sort of coldness, we're not talking about freezing here. We're kind of that 4 degrees.
If you can freeze them, great. But obviously, if you're a large brewery, keeping a big cold room frozen is extremely expensive. For us at Yakima Chief, we've got a very large cold store, and we keep that around 0 degrees.
And then obviously just sealing up the bags. Don't try and avoid the oxygen.
Seal them up. I mean, the best scenario is to use the hops in one go, and then you don't have to worry about it. But if you do have a half bag, seal it up, tape it up, and then just use it as quickly as possible. Some brewers have even experimented with like vacuum sealers, or even sort of putting some CO2 into the bags. It gets a bit complicated. So seal them up, get them straight in the fridge, and use them as soon as possible.
Perfect. The next question I have here is regarding dry hopping. When is the best time to actually dry hop during a fermentation?
How long is a piece of string, I suppose, is the answer. I'm sure if you asked every brewer in the land, you get a different answer. Some brewers, they want different things from the hops, and you get different compounds and different results from the hops depending on when you use them. Some brewers will add hops right at the start of fermentation. When hops and yeast interact, you can get a sort of a concept called biotransformation, where some hop compounds will react with some yeast compounds and produce new flavors and aromas. Some people don't want that, and some people just, they will wait to the end of fermentation, drop out the yeast, and add the hops into sort of finished beer or cleaner beer.
Does that finishing time matter in terms of when to add it? Is it going to do different things along the way or anything like that, or is it just preference?
Preference, I mean, beer style specific, obviously. You've got sort of more modern IPA styles, which are sort of double dry hops or even triple dry hops. Hops are added at numerous stages throughout the process. There'll be a first dry hop start of fermentation, maybe another one at mid fermentation, and then a final dry hop post fermentation. So beer style specific, where some brewers will be lightly dry hops right at the end, because they almost don't want too much aroma.
So knowing your recipe, knowing the process and that sort of thing is more important than
knowing your end target as well.
So when it comes to dry hopping, it's personal preference, but also styles and that sort of thing. So there's no hard set rules, and probably a little bit of an experimenting.
Absolutely, you only one way to find out really. One thing I would say is obviously dry hopping at the start of fermentation. What you don't want is the hops to be in the beer for too long. If the hops are in the beer for too long, you'll start to extract more sort of vegetal and kind of astringent notes from the hops. So you want to get the hops in there for a good period of time, but also get them out again as well. So.
Great. So next question I have is, how can a brewer get more aroma from fewer hops?
Absolutely. Obviously, we're in kind of some modern IPA styles. People want more and more aroma, and that obviously means adding more and more hops. Obviously, the more hops you add, the more aroma you get. Obviously, hops, they soak up beer like a sponge. So you're at the point where you keep adding hops, you have less beer to package and enjoy at the end of the day. So, number of different products, either pellet hops are more efficient than the traditional whole cone hops. And then the extension of pellets, you have enriched pellets, which are concentrated. We've got some just here. So these are cryo hops,
Okay.
which are a patented product from ourselves.
Okay.
It's a concentrated pellet product.
Yeah.
And essentially, again, not to be too vague, but you'd use these at roughly half the rate of traditional pellet hops.
Okay, all right.
They're produced by removing a lot of the excess vegetable and leaf material,
Okay.
and just capturing as much of the lupulin as possible into
Yeah.
the finished pellets. So you
Okay.
get the same, if not more, aroma
Yeah.
than compared to a conventional pellet at
Yeah.
roughly half the rate. So
Okay.
put more in and get more beer out.
All right.
Yeah.
So essentially, you could almost double that up and get, double the amount of
Yeah.
for the same amount as a normal T90.
We kind of have some specific guidance of how much to use and how to get the best of them. But some
Yeah.
customers, will go, well, I can just use twice as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great. Everyone's different. It's good for us as for sales.
Yeah.
But
And you
yeah.
basically, it's more of that vegetational kind of mass that you're getting rid of. So at the end of the day, you're producing more beer.
yeah, and you're putting more lupulin in, and so
Yeah.
what we'd say is, all that vegetable mass does is just soak up liquid. It does have
Yeah.
a role to play. I mean, we do say for cryo hops, not to get too much into detail, but keep some T90 pellets in there for kind
Okay.
of a flavour and aroma consideration.
Okay.
For a more
Rounded,
full-bodied,
balanced, yeah.
rounded
Okay.
flavour. But it's a great way of extracting the most out of the hops.
Yeah.
Without overloading them.
Okay. And then for the bigger brewers, in terms of some of your products like Dana Boost and Hyper Boost,
Yeah.
would you use that in a dry hopping or a different kind of stages? Or what would
Yes,
work
so we've
well in
got
that?
2 new products which are still pretty new to the market.
Okay.
Yeah, I have used it. Yeah. Really. I think all
So we've got Dynaboost product, which is a Whirlpool hop extract.
Yeah.
So this is designed to be used on the hot side of the brewing process.
Okay.
But again, one thing you can rely on brewers to do is experiment.
Yeah.
And essentially, this is again another way of loading as much aroma and flavour into
Yeah.
beer, but kind of reducing those kind of solid matter into,
Yeah.
into the brew.
Okay.
So that's used on the hot side, a rate of 10 times that of, it's 10 to 1 versus
Okay.
that of T90 pellets.
Okay. So you're using quite a small amount.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
this is a 1 kilogram container, which is equivalent to 10 kilograms of T90 pellets.
Okay.
And
I'm
then we
actually
have-
smelling some of the
Yeah.
some of it coming. It smells awesome.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, this is a Citra, so it's kind of available in all the kind of classic US
yeah.
hop brands.
Okay.
And then kind of an extension further of that is Hyperboost,
Yeah.
which is an oil-rich hop extract,
Okay.
which again can be quite versatile, but we'd kind of say focus this on your dry hop editions, and this is actually 100 times concentration. So
Okay.
this small bottle, which is 100 grams, is equivalent to 10 kilograms of hops. So
All right.
a little goes a long way,
Yeah.
and this is where you can really see some kind of again, they're designed to amplify and boost hop aroma and flavour, but
Okay.
actually a consideration you get from that is vastly increased yields.
Okay.
If you
Alright.
think that's equivalent to 10 kilograms of hops, the amount of solid matter that's going to avoid is huge. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to throw you another question.
Yeah.
Why are American hops that good? That what is it about American hops that really kind of makes them shine? Because
I mean-
they are winners.
I mean, the beer almost speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So the climate where the hops are grown is
Okay.
perfect for growing hops.
Okay.
So hops love 2 things. They love hot temperatures
Yeah.
and they love cold winters.
Okay.
Sorry, hot summers, cold winters, and
Yeah.
lots of water.
Okay.
So in the Pacific Northwest, where these hops are produced, summers regularly get over 40 degrees.
Okay.
In the winter, you'll see temperatures, minus 10, minus 15.
Yeah.
And that combination really helps the plants become strong and robust.
Okay.
And a strong, robust plant produces really high oils,
Okay.
impactful hop variety. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So it's and to do with the environment where they're grown
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. So you're not going to get that same sort of hop being grown in the UK
No, I mean,
with,
you look
with
at
as
something like
much
Cascade.
success. Yeah.
It's grown probably everywhere hops are grown in the world.
Yeah, okay.
There's a variant of Cascade grown.
Yeah, yeah.
Each have their own unique nuances, but you compare like a European grown Cascade to an American grown Cascade, the intensity is just totally different.
Okay. And then if a brewer is going to be choosing hops and stuff like that, looking at COAs, looking at information about those hops, and then obviously again, year specific, just to get the information to make sure that their beers are going to have what they want.
Again, yeah, so we kind of pride ourselves on providing as much information to the brewers as possible. So every batch of hops, we produce thousands of batches of hops a year.
Yeah.
Has its all this sensory data attached to it, has all the analytical and
Okay.
sort of lab data attached to it. So you'll be able to see almost buy a hop that is suited to your brewery. Citra is you know, our largest selling variety, the biggest US hop variety.
Yeah.
Some people want really tropical Citra, some people want really citrusy Citra, and we can, you know,
dial that in almost.
Dial that in,
Okay.
Yeah.
And then all of that information, it's straight onto your website. You basically get the batch code, plug it into the thing, and it's all.
Yeah, I think on the boxes themselves, the QR code, scan that, the batch number. Yeah, it's like called our lock lookup tool. Yeah. You'll get a real detailed look at
of everything.
All right. Anything you need to know about it. You can even see the farm where it was grown.
Okay.
If you want to, you know, even more detailed, I can tell you the day it was picked, the day it was kilned, what temperature the kiln was at. Some brewers want to be that specific.
Who actually picked the hop leaf for you?
Maybe, it might be there, yeah. It might be there.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, Robbie, thank you very much for going through all of those questions with us. And if there's anything else you guys need to know, give us a shout. We'll get in touch with the guys on Yakima Chief and help you out for your next brew. And as always, guys, happy brewing.